Satisfy your need for happiness through your own curiosity with the Ranveer Show. This could totally be a bias, and please correct me if you disagree. I truly believe that individual content creators, and I count you one on many levels as well, okay, because you've cracked the social media algorithms, are going to become the new media companies. And it's just not a belief that I hold alone. A lot of the people I end up meeting at business conferences and all also believe this. In fact, that thought entered my head through my interactions with the world. Now, as my career moves forward, as long as I stay out of trouble, I think I have more influence, or my voice has a larger stage. So what I truly want to tell the world as a human being is coming out. And I'd argue that maybe you're also doing the same, because your fame levels on an international scale are also increasing very steadily and very quickly, according to me. So you're getting a larger stage. You're reaching out to more international consumers. You're actually leading the charge from the front. The same, all this that we spoke about. You're changing the perception of India. This is becoming a Palki Sharma celebration podcast.
Fantastic. I'm liking it. So there are, okay, you've touched on so many things. Individuals obviously matter, that individuals are central to what we do. In storytelling, in content creation, whatever you call it. Sure. It's about people, from people to people. Okay? And there are, I might forget, so there are two parts to this. Why individuals matter. Let me first address that. Someone spoke about the paradox of plenty. There's an explosion of content in our world today. There is so much going around. So when information or content is plentiful, what becomes scarce is attention. Right? People are overwhelmed with what they see. So they don't know what to focus on. So they will turn to cue givers, people who give them a cue. It could be editors, it could be influencers, it could be thought leaders who are basically telling them, this is important, focus on this, and the rest is clutter or background noise. And these are people who've built credibility. So if you have credibility, people will come to you to listen to your point of view and to focus on things that you say are important. That is why individuals have that attraction, right? That is one part. The second part, will they be media companies? How can individuals scale it? Individuals with a vision and with potential should ideally create institutions that outlast them, that imbibe their ethos, their ideas, their vision, and that is translated into their teams. So ideally, we should have 10 more of you and many more people doing what I'm doing, because we are not here forever. And that is what all of us should aim for.
In my content creation journey, I've known this and I've tried doing this, but it doesn't work as effectively as one face and one voice and one, for lack of a better word, icon putting out his or her opinions. In the modern day, I feel people listen a lot more to human beings because of a trust factor than institutions. And I say this while I agree with you that something should outlast.
I think when we have different people, we'll all find our tribe, right? I have a lot of very, very bright colleagues who are doing their own thing. And I've spent many years doing what I'm doing. So I found an audience that connects with me. And I'm of a very firm belief. And when we look at numbers, and sometimes they're not as good and sometimes they are good, you have to look at the big picture, and you have to keep doing the thing that you believe in. What you're doing today, had you done it, say, in 2010, I don't know if you would have found takers. This is an idea whose time has come now, and it has clicked. So, and this idea will not always be relevant. People evolve, content evolves. So I think it's important to create institutions. It may not appear successful now, but someone has to be at it for a product to be ready say 5 years down the line.
When do your ratings fall? I can't visualize that reality.
When we talk about women's issues.
Really?
Yes. And they fall all the time. And it's one of my pet peeves. I mean, it distresses me no end.
Because men mostly follow geopolitics? Is that the reason?
Not just geopolitics. And that is again the sad part. And through your very wide audience, I want to ask this question to everyone who's watching us. Please help me understand, what are women watching? Typically, and this is not limited to India, somewhere in the range of 80% of the news audience is male.
What?
Yes. And that is unfortunate. So we are trying to do stories, and we are constantly debating. So we are trying to do pay parity. We are talking about abortion, not because, we started off because I feel very strongly about these things, and I think they should be done. But then I also ask myself that, wouldn't women be interested in investment and wars and politics and elections? Because it impacts their lives too. Would they only be interested in stories about domestic violence and pay parity and so on? Ideally, they should be interested in. So, yeah, that's a problem. But so the men don't like it. And the women, I'm not sure they're watching it. But we are doing the stories because we think we should do the stories. So yesterday, after a lot of debate again, we did something on how Nepal is prioritizing mental health of new mothers. Nobody likes stories like these. Viewership drops. We can see it in the live. But we do it because we do it.
One for the dinner table, one for the soul.
One for the soul, yeah. Yeah.
What do women watch?
I don't know. I wish I knew.
As a female human, what do you think? And why is it happening this way?
So I've met a lot of in my interactions, but you should not universalize your experience. Maybe they say this to me because they're talking to me, but they say that they've watched stories. I meet a lot of women, including students in colleges, professionals, on the flight today, who say, we watch you, it's very inspiring, and so on and so forth. And I don't usually have enough time to, and I don't want to sort of surprise them by asking them questions about what specifically did you watch and what did you like and why didn't you watch this. But I'm very curious and I would want to know. And I think, and it's important for the women also, because if you are an active audience, then the business takes you seriously. And then your voice gets represented.
So actively make an effort to follow the news?
Ideally, everyone should watch the news because it affects your life and it is telling you what's happening in your world. Maybe we are not doing it in a convincing way, so we are trying to reinvent our approach all the time to see where we'll find the right mix.
If you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out these curated playlists that we've made especially for you related to the subject that was spoken about in this clip.